TNA might be going head-to-head with All Elite Wrestling on a weekly basis. Also, TNA might be for sale, and John Cena has started discussing his potential retirement opponent. What is up, wrestling fans? I'm Ben Allison here at Wrestling Republic, and I've got all the wrestling news that you guys need in the time that it takes for you to drink your morning coffee. Let's get on with it. TNA Wrestling might be moving to Wednesday nights to go head-to-head with All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. This report comes from John Alba of Sports Illustrated, a very reliable source who is also quite close with the TNA president. They've done quite a few interviews together recently. And in fact, the TNA president Carlos Silva was directly asked about this rumor, to which he replied that he wouldn't deny it. Now, really interesting, this report also states that it would be a WWE associated network, and while that network wasn't named, previously John Alba has discussed about the possibility of TNA moving to the CW network, and I do have to say, I think that's the only obvious one out of the three networks WWE are currently on. And I mean, technically, that would mean TNA are in more houses than AEW are, but it's really not that simple, right? All Elite Wrestling has an existing fan base, and suddenly you are expecting TNA to go head-to-head with them and to grow about, what, 650,000 viewers, like, out of nowhere? Now, I'm going to be completely honest about this. I think this will be a massive mistake for TNA, because for the first month, first 6 weeks even, there will be a lot of hype around it. TNA will undoubtedly bring in a lot more viewers. It will be fantastic for them. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think their product is strong enough to hold up or to even go against All Elite Wrestling. The roster there is absolutely insane in AEW. The quality of the show is really strong as well. And I honestly don't think TNA has a strong enough of a hardcore fan base to go ahead with a hardcore fan base, which AEW has. So I think TNA will have a fantastic 6 weeks, but then it's going to be a car crash really, really quickly. And I'm hoping this doesn't happen, because like I've said on this show before, I want TNA to succeed. I want them to be a third challenger brand. But clearly, if WWE do just want them to be competition to AEW, I don't think this is going to end well at all. I also think WWE and TKO are being a little bit naive here about Tony Khan, because yes, currently All Elite Wrestling is reportedly very profitable. The narrative that they aren't making money is false at this point in the company, but let's also not forget that Tony Khan loves wrestling, and he loves All Elite Wrestling. So I think if things do start to take a turn for the worst, he will be more than happy to just put more money into it. Whereas TNA and WWE both don't really have that luxury, because one, WWE, TKO is a public business. You can't really do that the same way. But secondly, TNA don't have that money. But there is some reckless speculation this morning that TNA Wrestling could be for sale. And when you hear this, with all the news going on right now, you immediately think WWE, but that is not the rumored name. Because according to Sean Rossap, along with Conrad Thompson posting a GIF which kind of backs it up as well, plus a few other journalists kind of suggesting something big is on the horizon for TNA in terms of a sale, the name which is reportedly going around is Lorenzo Fertitta. Now, that name might mean nothing to you or might mean a lot to you, depending on if you watch MMA, because this is the previous owner of the UFC, and he was the one who sold the UFC to TKO. Now, SRS, among others, have really clarified, and they've continued to really clarify, that this is only a rumor, but it's a rumor which is spreading fast, and they can't really track where the source of it came from, but now a lot of people are saying it. So perhaps could Fertitta, who is still very close with TKO, he is very close with Ari Emanuel, he is very, very close with Dana White, perhaps he could be aiming to take TNA to combat AEW. But even still, I can't see this working out in any capacity. It's really, really bizarre, all of this, and it feels like a lot of change at once for TNA in a time where things are already heading in a good direction for them. John Cena has said that he is happy to face whoever WWE chooses for his retirement match. That is right. During the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Cena was asked about if he's had any say in his upcoming retirement match, which of course will be happening sometime this December. And he says, no, I've never operated like that. I will always deal with who WWE put in front of me, and I am happy with whoever they choose. On one hand, this is like the fourth time in 1 week where John Cena has exaggerated the fact that he doesn't choose his opponents, following Triple H suggesting that he chose Brock Lesnar. But on the other hand, I mean, the fact that he's not even involved in choosing his final opponent does seem a little bit wild to me. But as always, John Cena is a company man and he continues to be that way. I reckon he's going to be Gunther at this point. He's taken a little bit of a break from television. I reckon he's going to come back and retire John Cena in December. And retiring Goldberg and John Cena in 1 year, that would be absolutely wild. Another name which I think it's impossible to rule out just yet, even if it does seem a little bit far-fetched, is Dominic Mysterio. Who do you guys reckon will retire John Cena? Let me know in the comments down below, and while you are there, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us out absolutely massively. Multiple matches have been announced for tonight's episode of Friday Night Smackdown. As he often does the day before Smackdown, Nick Aldis took out his phone, he recorded a video and made a few announcements to get fans hyped up for tonight's episode, and it's going to be a big night for tag team wrestling. Because it's announced that Fraxium will be in action as they take on The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. That match is honestly one to keep an eye on tonight. I'm very excited for it. But another one, which might be even better, is DIY versus the Street Profits. Yes, please, I'll have a slice of that, and then I might just be greedy and take some seconds. But also, Alexa Bliss will be in action as he takes on Pippa Niven. That should be fun. And Drew McIntyre will have a mic and he will speak on his brutal attack of Cody Rhodes from last week. Should be a fun show, and it does seem like, compared to at least last week, that this is probably going to be a little bit less of a newsworthy show, and instead will hopefully just be a really good in-ring week for WWE SmackDown. And honestly, I'm all good with that, because lately there's been a lot of great entertainment on SmackDown, but the wrestling kind of hasn't been where it was maybe 3-4 months ago, at least in my opinion. The next season of WWE Raw could be sponsored by DoorDash. According to a new report from Adweek, Netflix and WWE Raw have come to an agreement which in the next season will mean that WWE Raw is brought to you by DoorDash. And I mean, I don't know if this just means it's going to be like on the mat sponsor, or I don't know if this is also going to be on every graphic, they're going to constantly plug it. I don't know. There's never been like one big proper sponsor for WWE before. I mean, there was Progressive when they were on SmackDown, I guess was kind of a similar thing. We'll have to wait and see if this ends up being true, and if so, how they go about it. They've also not announced when the new season of Monday Night Raw will begin. You'd presume mid-September, early October. I believe that's usually the time for season premieres. But obviously, when they moved to Netflix, Netflix presented that as a new season. So I actually have no idea about this. Tony Khan has revealed that if he could sign any wrestler from any time in professional wrestling history, it would be 1990s Stone Cold Steve Austin. While speaking to the Superstar crossover, Tony Khan was asked about this, who he'd choose any era, dead or alive, and 90s Stone Cold is who he picked. And I've got to say, I don't think many wrestling fans, especially of his age, are going to disagree with this choice. He was a superstar, absolute superstar during this time. He was putting on bangers in the ring as well, and he just transcended the product. He made it bigger than life. I mean, he was a big reason why WWE ended up beating WCW Nitro. So honestly, Tony Khan knows ball. But that does bring us to the end of the wrestling news, not just for today, but for this week. If you guys did enjoy, please hit the like button, subscribe down below as well. I will be back on Monday, but don't forget there will be more videos from us here at Wrestling Republic over the weekend. And of course, every single day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. in the UK, we have Wrestling Republic's live daily broadcast where you can join in, you can be in the comments, we show comments throughout, a rotating panel of fans, and we discuss everything in the world of professional wrestling. Hope to see you guys there. Peace.